you guys. Sorry about that. I had to clear out my video files, and I am trying to relax a little bit because I've been working really, really hard. When I say really, really hard, but to whom much is given, much is required. And I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to operate out of the presence of God, operating out of the Holy Spirit and not out of myself. It's a difference when God is in the midst because although your body might be tired, your spirit is filled. I was doing a lot of work where I wasn't tired, but my spirit loathed and it was sorrowful and it was down, and that's because I wasn't operating out of God, what God had designed for me to do, and now I am operating out of that. So although I feel like my body is aching, and I know that this is a physical body, so it has stress limitation, has limitations on it, physical limitations on it. So I do have to take proper care, rest, and everything else. But I'm still fulfilled, and I'm very happy, and very grateful. But I wanted to piggyback off of what I said about how we are not in control of how someone receives us. We're just God gives us plant seeds in us, and we produce fruit, and from those fruits, they drop down to the ground, and they have seeds in those. And the ground is the people that you come across every day. If they're not willing to yield to the fruit or yield to the seed, then it's not going to go down inside of them and produce fruit, produce more fruit, produce a tree, produce fruit. But that's not in control. That's not in our control. Our job, you have to focus on what you are designed to do. So that's why I say what you need to say. And another confirmation of that is that I talked to my cousin, which we grew up like sisters, but my cousin always thinks that I'm nuts because the things that I say, she always says that she knows that I have a lot of knowledge, and she comes to me when she needs things that she knows that is spiritual that she needs to take care of, even when we were kids. And I always tell her, like, I know y'all think I'm nuts, but I'm not. This is what happened. The visions and the things that I see, and God tells me this, I'm not really afraid of expressing it. And she was telling me today how God was leading her, and how she see things that are going on today, and how I was telling her how it was. And I mean, when I said I was telling people how everything was going down, my family thought I was nuts. They thought I was going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They already think that my mom is nuts because of her, because she's literally classified as schizophrenic, bipolar, manic. What they call it, just schizophrenic, bipolar disorder now. But um, since she has that, and she got it because of a drug-induced, beyond her control. She was drugged when she was in college, and so then even though she had that gift before, she had the gift, of knowing things before, so she would be able to say some things, and it kind of creep people out. Um, but like I said, they have that label like, oh my goodness, she's gonna be nuts like her mom because of this and that, and they know, like, they can't say it's drugs because I'm like a person that's far from it. But either way, um, my cousin just started talking about how she, like I said, seeing how things are coming out now, were some of the things that I was telling her, and I was telling her it was nobody but God. And she was talking about like how she was fearful, but still kind of not fearful. And she was telling me how grateful she was, and that she also talked about her boyfriend, because when her boyfriend got through this whole thing, because he got his awakening through a drug induced thing too, but how when he was going through it, she sent him directly to me. Like, people usually do that. They're like, sitting there because they know, when you go across this fire, when you go across something, and God brings you out like you are polished, you know, they know that that is the truth. They know it's nobody but God, and that was evident. That was evident. She literally just thanked me for that, and it was rewarding because it was like, okay, I see now. I see that what God was telling, that people were seeing what God was showing me, because it's one thing to believe in God, and then it's another thing for Him to be been to be used by God. But then, you think about your effectiveness. You think about your effectiveness through this thing, but God has even shown revelation to me to not even look at the effectiveness, because you will never know how effective you really are. You will never know, even to your dying day. There's going to be some people that you never come across, that you never meet, that you have been an impact either via this way, talking to other people, or just saying things and they hear what you're saying because it's the Holy Spirit opening their ears to hear beyond what is coming out your mouth, or through you helping somebody else, and as a result it helps someone else. So you'll never know how effective you are, and we're not supposed to do that. We're just supposed to plant the seed. So I'm going to leave off with that. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem, and I'm going to start saying this, because you're supposed to say what you want. I ask that you do, if this is helping you, if this is giving you confirmation to step out on faith and to follow God. Not only step out on faith, because stepping out on faith doesn't mean that you just go and you live lawlessly, just saying, okay, well, my rent is due, I'm not going to go. I want to go on a vacation too, during this time. I'm going to step out on faith and not pay my rent and, go on this flight and live it up. No, that's not what God tells us to do. God tells us to do things decent, with decency and in order. Do it decent and in order. So when you're stepping out on faith, you're applying the principles of God. You're following. Remember what God says: follow the laws of the land. Even with His children, they had to follow the laws of the land when they were in Egypt. They had to follow the laws. Even though they were not good, they had to follow the laws. So all those people who running out in the streets, not obeying that executive order, that is against God's law, because you obey the laws of the land as long as it does not violate, your belief, in God. Oh, you can't, that kind of thing about your worshiping. Um, so yeah, we're supposed to follow, but we're supposed to not just live carnally just because you don't see certain things to um to not do these things. If you apply the principles and you follow the principles and the precepts of God, it's going to turn out good. It's going to turn out good, because why? God's formula never lies. God never lies, okay? He never, ever, 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 ever lies, okay? And I'm going to keep it like that. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem, and hopefully you can say the same thing once you say what you need to say. Thanks.